I'm here.
You can? So can people hear us right now?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, you guys. We never argue before these things go on. We're just fine wine. I don't know. I was going to do it like smooth like butter fine wine combination. I don't know. I went to a yoga class tonight. My mind is butter. How you doing? I'm so glad you're here. A monitor in front of me. I can see me, but I should be looking up there at you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm frozen.
No, you're not.
Are we good? We were on time. Maybe a minute off, right? We're on time. Oh, you guys. How are you doing? You up there? There is a lot going on in the world. Did you see? I don't have a clip of this, but did you see President Trump say that? What did he say? He didn't say it tickled him, or he gets a kick out of when people mention that it's like only 13 soldiers that we've lost, which I don't buy that. Do you buy that? Do you think it's only 13? Why did they stop airing them? The soldiers coming home. It was like soon after he received a lot of criticism over his hat. I think because he didn't want to go anymore. He didn't want to go anywhere. Is that a new shirt, Chris? Yes, it is. A new Think Happy stuff. Doug and I were quibbling over whether to call it a sweatshirt or a t-shirt. What did we land on?
Vintage top.
Vintage top. Vintage top.
French Terry.
He's the one who actually prepares and gets the order out for you. So is that the kind of energy that goes into the package? Or some days. So if you open your Think Happy stuff and there's a little air of seething resentment, that's where they came from. That's where it came from. Hi, you guys. I'm so glad you are here. Now, we're just going to talk about a couple things briefly. I say that, and then I'll go on a tangent like I do. But we're going to start with a clip of Joe Rogan. Is that where it starts?
Yes.
And I never addressed this, even though it was on my mind. Because sometimes you learn how to do things right by watching somebody do it so wrong. For example, Erica Kirk sharing with the world that how she explained to her daughter where daddy was to say that he was on a work trip with Jesus so he could afford her blueberry budget. What the hell is that? What is that? Seriously, is there some secret message or code, or because what is that? That is bizarre. And the work trip with Jesus, who do children or even wives or partners get resentful to if they go on too many work trips? It's not Jesus. It's in this case, it would be daddy. Wow. See, a tangent already. Okay, we're starting with Theo. So what we're going to talk about is basically how not to apologize, as demonstrated by Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson. And this does not mean I have seething resentment toward either one of these guys. It just means I don't recommend doing it this way. And I think there's something we can learn from this. Now, it involves Theo Von. You may have caught this. Theo Von. I don't watch Joe Rogan, but this clip was circulating. You've got Theo Vaughn, who I have had interaction with at a comedy club, and nice guy, real guy, tender guy, transparent guy, not somebody who is trying to impress anybody. He is real, he's approachable, he's adorable, even though he's been a little misled at times and misled others in the process. But so he goes on Joe Rogan and he's transparent about what his struggles are. And am I going to start this or are you? I can start it. Okay. Doug's like, you are. Okay, here we go. Ready?
They're letting fun politicians slurp on kids. All of the money goes to Israel and they're using it to genocide people. It's like everybody.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to pause for a second. If you close your eyes, does he not sound like Kash Patel? He does. And I hate to say that, but when I was listening to this earlier, not looking at the screen, my first thought was like, is this Kash Patel? He sounds like Kash Patel a little bit. Okay. I broke the momentum.
Is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out, and it's like it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us, and our religious leaders are talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going? I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out.
Imagine feeling like you're in a safe place with a friend. They're friends. And their response, I mean, that was heartfelt stuff. I think most of us have felt that kind of, what the is going on? And he's expressing that to a friend. And the response is, what's wrong with you? You're on the wrong meds, or shoots him down. Well, that didn't go over well with the internet. And Rogan caught on to that because at the end, I think it was even at the end of this episode, after the show, he films an apology. But let's see this one out a little bit. Hold on.
What else? Just chill
I'm
out.
here.
Just chill out at the mothership tonight.
I do have to pee in a little while, but
You can pee.
I'm gonna pee in a minute, man.
We'll let you.
But no, people are just scared,
We'll
dude.
let
This
you.
is
They
shit
won't
that I
let you
hear
in
from
Canada.
people.
They won't let you pee until you give them your guns. Last time.
In that moment, deflection. I had never considered that Joe Rogan was like pro-Israel, or that maybe he's getting paid off. But I was like, what the hell is that? He's cutting him off. There's no discussion about any of these things. And sometimes you're in a mood and you want to dump, and your friend is like, I don't want to hear you bitch about your boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband or whoever for the thousandth time, for the whatever time. They don't necessarily want to hear it. But what is that? That would be very discouraging, and I would not be anxious to run back to that person. And yeah, it's a podcast. And maybe Joe is thinking, this isn't the place, but that's not what he's about, right? He's about free speech and just saying what you want, or saying it high. I think that's part of his thing too, or smoking, whatever. It's his platform. He can do what he wants, but we also can observe it and have observations. And I don't think his apology came off even the way he hoped it to. I think there's an aspect of this where I grabbed a pen and paper. Where did I leave it? Oh, it's right in front of me.
This is mine. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I grabbed. He's like, it's a notebook, a spiral notebook. He's like, it's mine. Fine.
Not defiling my notebook.
Defiling your notebook. It's a spiral lined paper notebook. Let me find a pen, because I've only watched this quickly, briefly, and you know me, I'm going to have thoughts to share. Okay, where's my big old Sharpie? I like my big old Sharpie. I see it. Okay. So Joe Rogan doing this, whatever this is. I know a lot of like the bro club is going to be like, oh, that was good. He did it good. All right. Come
on
on,
the
Joe.
podcast, he was explaining it to me. It freaks me out because he had a Netflix taping and it didn't go well. It was like they shelved it. They never used it. And there was all these
This isn't
stories
the
from people that
apology.
were there saying he bombed. I think he just
This
had
is
a kind
the
of a
offense.
breakdown. And when he was talking to the crowd, and there's a video of it, we said, the people were shaking, hey, we still love you. He goes, thank you. Look, I'm trying not to take my own life. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I've known too many people that I didn't think were going to kill themselves and then did. And then he goes down these spirals where he starts talking about world events and freaking out. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I got to help this dude. And so I send him things about people getting off of them. And I apologize to Theo. He knows I love him.
All right. Before we go into that, I apologize. I thought the apology was next. No, that was the offensive part. What the offense was him talking about a dear friend of his. He's a comedian who gets paid to perform, who has had at least one Netflix special. I guess they were recording another one. Did you guys see the one that he did in Nashville at the Ryman? And he's filming another and says it was so bad, it went so not well that they canned it. So first of all, just professionally, that's not cool. I think this whole thing shows an incredible amount of disrespect for Theo Von. I don't think Joe Rogan sees him as a peer. I think he sees him as like his puppy. There's not even speak here. It is if I had a friend that I respected, I would never put it on blast like that. That first of all, professionally, his show didn't work. And also that he had a breakdown and mentioned not wanting to be alive. But he wants to help him. Why on any level would he think this is the way to do it? I was just trying to help you. I think we see a little bit of that in his apology, quote unquote. Okay, here's the apology.
And he said that, and we laughed and we joked around about it, and I apologized for the way I talked about this. But I felt like I need to explain to other people too, to get just like what was going on in my mind out. And it certainly
Doesn't
wasn't
matter.
like covering for Israel, and it certainly wasn't like trying to paint him out like he's damaged or treat him like a child. I just want him to be okay. And when you're dealing with someone, or when you have like had experience dealing with someone where it winds up going very badly, and then you're just left with this feeling like, what could I have done?
Not that. Not that. I'm so concerned about this person's emotional state. See, when somebody apologizes, your explanation really doesn't matter.
I've learned that.
Unless they ask for it. This will change your life if you take this in. If you offend somebody, if you hurt them. Dude, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I feel like crap about it. Please forgive me.
But that's where it goes wrong when you add the but.
Everyone I know has got a big butt. Name that movie, you guys. What was that? Pee Wee Herman. Everybody I know has got a big butt. That's where I would throw up a graphic. I was making a significant point. What was it, Doug? What was I saying? What was the significant point?
That you give a heartfelt sorry and you don't explain anything else about it.
Unless they ask for it.
Right.
Unless they ask for it, because it's not about you. It's not about you being understood in that moment. It's about you acknowledging what you did. Explaining can make it too much about you.
There are a lot of people that guess that you're doing Pee Wee Herman.
Yay! You're my people. I always want to say boomers in the house, but I'm Gen X. Boomers welcome in the house as well. Okay, let's keep going.
I didn't do a good job of it, especially like the Marcus King thing. Like, that's terrible what I did. I
don't know
didn't
what
mean
that is.
to. I was just trying to. You don't think sometimes when you're in the middle of a podcast, you're just having a conversation. You don't think about the impact that it's going to have. That's what.
How long has he been doing this? How long would you look that up, honey? How long has Joe Rogan been podcasting, and he's thinking that he doesn't realize? See, this is what happens when you start to explain. It gets picked apart. Think about arguments you've had when you have gone to apologize to somebody and they're still kind of cold. And so you start to explain. What do? You give them fuel for their fire, because they can start to pick apart the things like, we're going to do right now. How long has he been doing this?
Over 16 years.
Over
2009.
Over 16 years. He doesn't realize the impact it can have. His words. Oh my God. And he forgets sometimes. I call BS. I think that this is just, armchair analyzation, that it's probably hard for Joe Rogan on some level to say, bro, I love you. I've lost friends this way. I'm really concerned. And I mean, maybe it was his emotional foreplay to bring it up on air, but not the way to go. It sounds like they had that conversation eventually, but everybody I know got a big butt. What?
Sarge Don USMC, who comments a lot, is upset that you're trashing Joe Rogan.
I'm not trashing Joe Rogan. He is but a man. Is he like legit upset?
That it's mean.
What's mean? I didn't say anything mean. I wasn't like, look at his bald, shiny head. Why doesn't he powder his head? Which I don't care. But that's like, he has a lovely bald head. Not everybody can pull it off. I'm not ragging on Joe Rogan's personhood. Okay. Let's go.
One of the reasons why, podcasts are so weird, because like you're in the middle of trying to be entertaining, but you're also just having a conversation. And I fucked up. So because I felt so badly about it, I was like, there's got to be a way to address this where I just express myself. And so that's why. We've never done this before.
Okay.
We've never done this kind of a thing after a podcast. But Theo's very important to me. She's an awesome person, a great friend, and one of the most interesting and funny people I've ever met in my life. And I just felt terrible about it. And I told them I'd never bring it up publicly again. But I think it is important to let people know that aspect of it.
I don't know what aspect of it he means. What happens when somebody comes to you and they will apologize, but then it's, I feel horrible. I feel terrible. I feel, Doug, I feel so bad. Doug, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that. I feel horrible.
It doesn't change what you did.
Or let's say you got past the seething resentment. That's me saying, like, come on, what would a person with some empathy say? Let's role play. Like, I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I can't, I'm so sorry. All of a sudden it becomes about me and make me feel better. Right? An apology is just supposed to be about that person. Are we learning things, class? Are we learning the things? Take it or leave it. But if you take it, your life will be so much easier. Conflict resolution is everything. Is everything. Okay.
So I'm going to call him and clear this with him and make sure he's cool with me saying this, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be. And that's it. So I'm a human and I'm flawed like all of us, and I fuck up, and it's probably not the last time. It's definitely not. I'm going to fuck up again. But my intention is never to hurt anybody, ever. And that's why I very rarely, if ever, even get upset at anyone other than like corrupt politicians. But I do my best to just try to be a good person, spread positivity, and grow and learn. And hopefully you're doing the same.
You and I and everyone else.
It's not about us, Joe, but I mean, I get it. There's some heartfelt. I mean, there's sincerity there. There's sincerity there. I just think it's a good opportunity to look at it. What are you laughing? Are you laughing at something?
I have congestion.
Well, your congestion sound like you're laughing. Doug has been really unwell. We were going to try to do a live a few
That sounds
days
like
ago.
it's mental.
It is a little mental. Just a little bit. How would you describe? Wasn't a flu, really, was it? What was it?
Cold cough, sore throat.
Cold, cough, sore throat. Yeah. Yeah. He was deeply unwell. So it does sound like mental problems. It does. Okay. Now this is back in. How long ago did Tucker do this? I wanted to address this
April.
back then. And I have to say, I have been really impressed with the way that Tucker has. You just did it again. Now are you laughing?
Yes.
Now he's laughing. How? I can't tell the difference. What are you laughing at? Share with the class.
Sally Witt 6448 asked, does Tucker have any shirts that aren't checkered?
Tucker checkered, Tucker checker, checker, Tucker. That sounds like it should be one of those. I don't know. Doug, why don't you scroll? you want to go on a fact-finding mission, and you could. I wonder if AI could answer that question. Does AI scan? AI freaks me out, you guys. It's like, although, okay, I have to say this. A few days ago, somebody commented on my Instagram saying, I saw that you were endorsing Tom Steyer.
You were at an event.
Yeah, I was at an event. Was I performing?
Yeah, that was the implication.
That- Yeah, that I was performing at this event. A Tom Steyer. Was it Jane Fonda's?
I think she was caught into it or something.
Okay. I have filmed with Jane Fonda. I've worked with Jane Fonda, but I think it had me on as like one of the featured comedians. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't do this. And she's like, well, I saw it somewhere. I'm like, but we Googled it and it did. I mean, it came up. But when you went to the event itself, I wasn't on it.
Right.
They were just using my name. I feel so used. So I don't know about what kind of shirts he owns. I appreciate the stance that he's, come to on Israel, and that he defended Charlie. What? Did you find one?
AI says, no, Tucker Carlson does not only wear checkered shirts. They are a staple of his wardrobe, although he frequently wears solid color shirts.
He frequently, I don't know if I would say he frequently.
Like when he wears a suit jacket.
They're counting the job. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. So there you go. What else do you guys want to know? Well, okay, he did this apology, and this one, this is like next level kind of and it rolls into some Blake Neff stuff. I just not buried the lead. I just spoiler. Darn it. Where are you going? Get some water. My water isn't sparkly this time, so I won't burp at you all. Also, last time, did you notice there was lipstick on my teeth? Like the entire thing. There was lipstick on my teeth the entire time because we were running late and I had to put it on real quick and we had to keep bumping the time back. And then I watched that, which is a mistake to begin with. So I have a little mirror. Well, I don't trust you anymore. He was asleep. He was dead asleep. And I'm texting him, because I'm working out in the family room going, I can't believe you didn't tell me. How could you miss that? Anything you want to add?
No, that pretty much sums it up.
That does. That sums him up. Can you guys hear Doug when he talks? Do you have a microphone on?
It says it is, but
Okay. All right. So Tucker's apology. And what was he apologizing for? Doug, do you know?
supporting Trump and putting him forth to the people.
Putting him forth to the people. He did a little more than that. But he downplays it. Okay.
Else who supported him. You wrote speeches for him. I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. You know, we'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say,
You hear that? The tormented. He'll be tormented. He will personally be tormented, which I don't disagree with. But see, it's the Joe Rogan thing. So if you admit how tormented you are and how bad you feel, then you can't give him too hard a time because he already feels tormented. So it would be cruel to just kind of add fuel to the fire. Have you guys seen the impersonator? Who's the guy that does the impersonations of Tucker Carlson on?
It's some guy on Saturday Night Live, like a new person.
Would you look it up? Because I definitely want to say his name. But the guy, just if you just look up Saturday Night Live Tucker Carlson impersonation.
Obvious.
What?
Jeremy Colhan.
Jeremy Colhan. Can you, if you pull up a video, do you have a way to show it from there? Just at the end, we'll do like a little bonus feature. His impersonation is freaking hysterical of Tucker. So he said like in very small ways, the whole Dominion voting machine, I don't even have to say it to you guys, you know, very small ways. And then he said, I like many of the millions. Everybody's doing it. Everybody was doing it. I just had I'm sorry. God, it would have been so impressive because people were just so amazed he said anything at all. Maybe when the sin is so bold, just giving a little bit of a breadcrumb is enough for people to go, oh, breadcrumb, yum, yum, yum. But no, it was really significant what he did and whatever, you know, this is a how to apologize with Chris and Doug.
You want me to play it?
Do you want to play it? Okay.
You want me to play it?
I want you to play it. Go ahead and play it. The impersonator, Jeremy something.
I gotta get through the commercial.
There's a commercial. Oh yeah, we don't want to get in trouble for that. Do you need much longer? I could play the rest of Carlson Tucker.
This probably isn't going to work.
Why?
All right, let me try it.
Why? Oh, whiny. Why? All right. I never put stuff on my eyebrows. I did a little bit. Too much. Is it working? Are you trying? Talk to me. I'm hanging with some amazing people. But you're giving me nothing. You're not even, no eye contact. What's going on? What are we doing? Those moments where you're like, I love it that we can just go out to dinner and not feel like we have to talk to each other. This isn't one of those moments. All right, you going?
Yes.
Favorite thing about
You can hear the audio.
It popped up for a second.
and
That's
I
what she said.
attracted to this?
You don't have to be attracted to any of it. I mean, weren't there any outfits you liked? I mean, Heidi Klum's was fun, right?
Oh, yes. The left has finally gotten what they've always wanted. They put the Statue of Liberty in a burqa.
All right. No, you know.
Okay, I love it. I think it is so good. I think it is so great. Okay. All right. Here we go. Where's my video?
Sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional.
Over the weekend, Fox News executives
Whoa.
deplored this former
Whoa.
writer, condemned him.
Whoa. Stop it. Dude, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional. Oh my God. It wasn't intentional. He didn't trip and fall. Nobody made him say anything.
It was intentional at the time.
It was intentional at the time, wasn't it? Because there were texts of him saying how much he hated Trump. And then that's a conscious decision to say something completely against what you believe. And so anyway, the takeaway, it wasn't intentional, opens up a can of worms. This is so random. Avoid always and never. You always do this. I never do that. You never do this. That nothing discredits, because then it's like, okay, I'm going to find a thing. Just, you know what? Most of the things we argue about aren't worth it anyway. Okay. You guys know Blake Neff's connection to Tucker Carlson, don't you? Sure you do. He got fired from Fox for being a racist. Lots of words I can't say comfortably. I could.
But what did he do in relation to Tucker?
What did he do in relation to Tucker?
Yeah.
He says he wrote most of what he was saying. What do you want?
Because no,
He's going,
well, you
what?
didn't say what his role with Tucker was. I didn't know who
A
that
writer.
whatever it is.
Head writer. Well, let's watch the video. Let's watch the video.
Of course he resigned. What he said was abominable, and they promised Tucker would address this story tonight. Tucker did, but like I said, he was angrier about the reporting than he was about the racism.
What Blake wrote anonymously was wrong. We don't endorse those words. They have no connection to the show. It is wrong to attack people for qualities they cannot control. In this country, we judge people for what they do, not for how they were born. But we should also point out to the ghouls now beating their chests in triumph at the destruction of a young man that self-righteousness also has its costs. We are all human. When we pretend we are holy, we are lying. When we pose as blameless in order to hurt other people, we are committing the gravest sin of all, and we will be punished for it. There's no question.
This writer said, whatever comes out of Tucker's mouth, he wrote the first draft of it, right? And I don't, maybe he's, he's exaggerating, who knows? But it seems like he's trying to sort of
Blake.
these sort of racial divisions is something that he's done on his show repeatedly. Listen to this.
This may be a lot of things, this moment we're living through, but it is definitely not about Black lives. And remember that when they come for you, and at this rate, they will. If you were to assemble a list, a hierarchy of concerns, of problems this country faces, where would white supremacy be on the list? Right up there with Russia, probably. It's actually not a real problem in America. White supremacy, that's the problem. This is a hoax.
And if you read through all of the things that he was posting, I mean, as Suzanne Scott, the head of Fox News, referred to it as horrific. That is the appropriate way to describe what this person was doing. This is a person who did some really awful things and harassed people and treated people really badly. And losing your job is actually an appropriate punishment for that.
If you've watched Tucker Carlson's show, you might think this is a little bit racist. And usually that's because writers behind shows like that are racist themselves. So there's a scandal coming out of Fox News with Tucker Carlson's writer. So the top writer for Fox News, host Tucker Carlson, has resigned from his position at the network after racist posts that he allegedly authored surfaced. Blake Neff, who is originally from South Dakota, had allegedly posted offensive material over a number of years on an internet message board called AutoAdmit that often contains bigoted content. The CNN report cites several examples of questionable postings on the site AutoAdmit with bigoted and derogatory comments about women, Black, Asian, and LGBTQ people. Black dudes staying inside playing Call of Duty is probably one of the biggest factors keeping crime down, he reportedly wrote a few weeks ago. He derided a woman for being an Asian mega shrew in posts that were all allegedly, thank you Daily Mail, allegedly like 40 times posted under a pseudonym. Neff stated how he wouldn't get LASIK from an Asian for free in response to an email thread with the subject line, "Would you let a jet black Congo N-word do LASIK eye surgery on you for 50% off?"
And then he goes and works for Turning Point. Did he do something in between? I haven't looked up his timeline. That is who sits by Andrew Colbert and acts all sanctimonious. It would also explain some hatred toward Candace, wouldn't it? It would explain a lot of his hatred toward Candace Owens. Because she's Black. He doesn't like Black people. That is who Erica Kirk, Turning Point, was cool with hiring. When did he start there? That's what I want to know. When did he start there? I'm going to look at your comments. Tucker asked Charlie to hire Blake Neff. Oh, where's my phone? Okay. Do you get the impression that a lot of people were thrust upon Charlie Kirk? That's the impression I'm getting. I'm going to look this up. Did Tucker Carlson push Charlie Kirk to hire Blake Neff? It says there's nothing solid, but it also said that I was performing at a Tom Steyer event. Doug can look a little more. I'm going to look at you guys. some of you guys just talking to each other. So I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like I'm eavesdropping into your world.
There's somebody I had to kick out.
Oh, really? Was there somebody bad?
Yeah.
What were they doing?
They were making derogatory comments about your lipstick.
I first started wearing this lipstick because years ago, I think it was 3 years ago now, when I got lip injections. I haven't had any, and I haven't had Botox and whatever in a very long time, like years, maybe 3 years. But the last time I got lip injections, and this can be a side effect. Sorry, guys, this isn't for you. But it left like a red kind of, I think they call it a mustache, but it's not hairy, but just so my upper lip wasn't as defined. And when I would record, it all kind of blurred. But I don't know. It's fun. It's on our website. I sell it. It's also a sign of rebellion. I've been told in World War II, red lipstick was a sign of the rebellion. That's what I heard. I like the reasoning and I'm sticking to it. How could you what would a person have to say about red lipstick to get booted?
It said something like you needed a red clown wig to go with it.
That would be fun. I do need a red clown wig. That would be great. I would love that. Like Bozo. Gosh, Bozo the clown. How creepy in retrospect. But I see, I wish I could pull this up, but I went red for a while and it was fun. Remember, not for long, when we lived in Burbank, he doesn't remember. That was me.
I remember in Franklin when you would do that.
Yeah, no, out here I didn't keep it long. I mean, it didn't stay. You know, when your hair's short, it grows out, but whatever. Can you take away the thing up on the screen now? I won't. I will not do Lucille Ball. Yes, that is what somebody said that when I did, because I was expressive and could do all the faces. And oh, by the way, no, I'm not putting my face on a t-shirt for y'all. Somebody was asking. No, maybe a mug. I know my merch is all Think Happy stuff, which was a gift company we started back in 2006. It's my handwriting with a little flower doodle that my mom taught me. She learned from her mom. But I don't like, would you wear a t-shirt that said "What the feckity" on it? When I went on tour, I did a UK tour and it was my face and "What the feckity" on there. But it was like in UK, it was far, far away. For some reason, it didn't feel bad doing it there. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, weird. Okay. Yes. Yes, you would wear a Think Happy stuff. I'm sorry, not a Think Happy stuff, a "What the feckity." A "What the feckity." I got nothing else. I got no other agenda for our time together. Do you want to throw a subject out? Is there something you would like to discuss? I'm not coloring my hair again. I am never coloring my hair again. I laugh because I just said it's not good to use the word never. I have no intention to. See, that sounds silly too, because, well, unless it were for a role. I actually just got booked, Doug. I didn't tell you this. Do you guys watch For All Mankind? It's not All for Mankind. It's For All Mankind, the space show.
I didn't know they were still making it.
Yeah, I think it's on Apple Plus. But they needed a glamorous older woman. And it just so happens I can on occasion be one of those. Did you all see me in the Michael Jackson movie? Somebody went up to my son and said, well, a friend of his said, I didn't know your mom was famous. And he almost didn't tell me that, did he? He doesn't like to tell me when people think I'm cool. I'm looking at you. You can ignore me, but I won't go away. Are you reading comments?
Yes.
Any I missed?
And Dr. Kirk's Loomer been back around. I don't know what that means.
Dr. Kirk's Loomer. Who is Dr. Kirk's Loomer? I know I should know. Oh, I don't know. I haven't blocked her, but not on my radar at all. What is on my radar is that Tracy, I almost wanted to say Morgan, but Tracy Allen, I think is her last name, who is the one person who claims to be a friend of Erica Kirk's, who came out of the woodwork and won't go back in, who is defending her nonstop with the same rhetoric. Oh, Tracy Martin? I said Allen?
Yeah.
Okay, Tracy Martin. And I just watched her latest, not all of it. And thankfully I had yoga in between there because it's really upsetting. She's not saying anything new, but it's literally, if you question anything about Erica, you just like you're stupid, basically. Like you're either demonic or not a Christian. You don't have to be a Christian to know the difference between right and wrong, good and evil. You know, people who don't murder or assault other people just because the Bible tells them not to, what would they do without the book? People innately know you're not supposed to do those things. But this guy, I'll just give you this part. The guy that interviewed her, who had a huge Zionist sweatshirt on and brought up October 7th, like out of nowhere, said, isn't it strange? Like, I noticed that until mid-September, I'm not kidding, he said this, until mid-September, nobody ever mentioned Erica Kirk. And then all of a sudden, everybody's talking about Erica Kirk. And she came back to him and affirmed him for how like insightful he was. I like for that camp to not be able to admit on any level that something's off. I'm going to do a response video with the air of, let me help you let me help explain to you why we don't get this. Like, can you see how, if you can remove yourself from this little bubble you're in, why somebody from the outside would be a little concerned and have some questions? But no, the idea is that there's something wrong with you because Erica's a godly woman who cares about women as she embraces somebody who has assaulted women and found liable and still owes one of them like $500 million or something, $500 million. Thank you so much for the financial gifts that are coming in. It's interesting. I get a few times a day, several times a week, invites by brands who want to partner. But I think they just go by the numbers, right? They see how many followers I have on Instagram. I have like 350,000 followers on Instagram. And then they see the engagement rate is high. I tend to attract decent people, and people are respectful to each other generally, at least on Instagram. Clearly, I missed the lipstick person, and that went off the rails. So far, all I've heard is lipstick and hair wig. There was something else. Did it get darker than that? No? Okay. Shoot, what was I saying? I'm sorry, you guys. I forgot what I was saying. But it needs to. So thank you. So they see my following. They see the engagement rate, which is like higher than excellent. It's really good because decent people tend to follow and engage. And so the system kicks out an invite to me of, like, for paid collaborations. I've gotten to where, like, I don't even respond anymore because when I read the fine print, it says non-controversial material. Is your content non-controversial? No, because what fun is that? Jumpmaster 195, thank you for what you do for all. And yes, we are decent people. Keep going. Thank you. I appreciate the encouragement. Oh, okay. So my point was, I don't have Candace level following or, some of these others that are just whatever. So your support through, investing in a Think Happy Stuff shirt or the mugs, which are fantastic, or the tumblers. You know what?
Or the shirt.
I said the shirt.
Okay.
The
It's on
shirt.
the website now.
Okay, every time we get on here, I surprise Doug with a special he doesn't know we're gonna do. Are you ready? Doug, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. We've been selling these white mugs that have it's not a decal, like it's a
Transfer.
it's a transfer that we ourselves put on there, and it's supposed to stay. And we, so you have to hand wash them. Who the hell wants to hand wash a coffee mug? Well, maybe you don't mind. You wouldn't mind if you got it for free. Let's do that. Let's do that with a minimum. How do you set these things? Like with a minimum $50 purchase. They get a free mug. And I know it costs us shipping more, but whatever.
No. I'd say.
How do we do this?
Item that's $28 or higher.
$28 or higher? Doug's feeling generous. I said 50. So basically that's like order anything. Well, no, because the what?
Sarge Don USMC said to ask you to talk about what she thinks about Drewski and a comedian's right to parody.
Public figures are total on.
Fair game.
Yeah, thank you. On limits, not off limits. Well, first let me finish. So Doug is saying any order. This surprises me. That surprises me. So he said, let's just get rid of the mugs. So for a minimum order of $28, which is a t-shirt or whatever, combination of your choice, we will include, they're like 16 ounces. You want to grab one? Do you hear him? Thomp, 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 thomp. Okay, he's going to grab one. I love them. But the mistake we made was to not, have a company we used in the past print them on there. So, somebody gifted memberships. I love that. Thank you for doing that. Silver Fox, but your voice and witty content is over the top. In a good way. I love the scolding, sarcasm, and bad behavior. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. Name that movie.
Jessica Rabbit.
I was asking them. Okay. I love this. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. It's fantastic. It's huge. It's 16 inches. It's also something you can't put in the dishwasher. You have to hand wash it. So you could just put pens in it. You could give it to somebody you don't like, and then when they're like, it peeled off, you could be like, that's never happened to anybody else before. It must be you. I don't know. But did everybody see it? So the full logo for Think Happy Stuff says, change your thinking, change your world. Because when I came up with Think Happy Stuff, I didn't want it to sound flippant, like just think happy. Don't worry about the problems of the world. Just think happy stuff. So change your thinking, change your world, because there is a choice. Whoops. On what we focus on. So $28 purchase and you get the free mug. Now, how do we cut that off? I have to say a time. Like, otherwise people see this a year from now.
It'll cut off at 10 p.m. on May 27th.
What date is it now?
May 26th. So 24 hours.
Okay. In 24 hours. Okay. Back to Drewski. And public figures are fair game. Yeah. And he did a brilliant job. He really did a good job. He could have been meaner. There's a fine line for those of us with a conscience when it comes conscience. When it comes to Erica Kirk and anybody really, about how cruel to get. I know cruel is kind of relative to people, but by my standards, I tried to avoid it. Bringing up, just because she's a widow, now she puts herself out there and she's not normal. And to Tracy, what's the last name again? Martin. To not be able to acknowledge the fact that there's been two significant issues that has joined people across the aisle. The Epstein files and Erica Kirk and Charlie's assassination not being investigated properly. Did you see recently where somebody, a couple of the other podcasters did it, where the guys contracted to help pave over were told by the guys that hired them that the FBI and the governor instructed them to do so within 5 days. Go ahead.
New topic. Jumpmaster 195 asked what your thoughts are on the Kevin Hart roast.
Kevin Hart roast. Ooh. Chelsea Handler follows me on Instagram. That was my initial thought. I thought it blows my mind when people who have millions of followers and only follow like 1,200 people, and I'm one of them. I'm like that. Oh my God. Like, that's pretty cool. So what did I think of the roast? What you're looking like you want to say something. Yeah, but no, we're not done with this topic. Kevin Hart's roast. I don't like those roasts in general. I only watched because Chelsea was on it. I loved how she called out people that were so pro-war, but weren't going to serve themselves. Tom Brady. Do you know Tom Brady actually came out here to Southern California, just a couple of our infamous comedy clubs, and tried stand up. Like, I think he was thinking that if it landed, then he would pursue it, but it didn't land. I didn't see it. But if you saw the Kevin Hart roast, it was, no.
Ash 4414.
Ash.
You have lots of Christians watching you who aren't going to stop being Christian, but hate what Trump and evangelicals have become, and Charlie Kirk assassination and Epstein and government corruption. Any thoughts? That's a can of worms.
So I might need you to read it again. So Christians, obviously, they're not going to recant or turn away from their faith, but are struggling with the issues like
of how the evangelical church has been exploited by the right and all those kinds of things.
Oh, wow. That is a can of worms. That's actually the catalyst for my interest in any of this. You've heard me say before, I didn't wake up one day wanting to pick on a widow, go after a widow. But I was raised Catholic. Doug was raised Southern Baptist, stayed that way. Looks like you're filming me. I'm kind of unsettled. Okay. I'm ADD, so it's like, I had the born again, saved experience in college through a ministry called Campus Crusade for Christ, which Turning Point reminds me of in many ways. When we lived in Tennessee, there was one pastor in particular that is like a Victor Marx clone. So like Doug pointed out to me yesterday, something like he's just the embodiment of some of these Southern pastor types. Okay, so after college, I went on staff full time working with high school kids. You're right in front of me behind the camera laughing.
Okay. Finish your thought.
Finish my thought. Yes. I was just like, this is why I care about something passionate that, is paying your rent. And
what viewers are debating is, have you said you're not a Christian anymore, or have you said you're just not an evangelical anymore?
I've said I'm not an evangelical. I'm in Southern California. Can I just go with I don't like labels? I would rather be accused of being Christ-like than of someone just saying, yeah, she's a Christian. Is that good? Doug's giving me a thumbs up back there. I want to be more like the Jesus that we're presented with. Like I want to be like that. Goals. I will not condemn another for not being that way. 11 years, what I didn't finish saying was 11 years in full-time ministry. A lot of misogyny, a lot of emotional abuse, a lot of spiritual abuse. Working on staff at a church, you see how the sausage is made. I was emotionally abused and manipulated by a pastor as an adult. Yeah. So when people bring up abuse, God, what do generally, like in Hollywood, they'll say, there's so much abuse in Hollywood. I'm like, as there are in the church, as there is in the church. So the people that claim to know God and that they are the only ones who do, and that you're going to burn in hell if you don't do it the way they do. I see so many defending the man who is mentioned the most in the Epstein files, who would be raging if it were Obama, who blindly support a genocide, who seem to be lacking critical thinking skills. How dare you question a widow? Well, apparently they had an appointment set up to change some legal documents. So I heard people say that from the beginning. From the beginning, people were like, they were getting a divorce. They were getting a divorce. They were, he was going to change his will. And I didn't know, I couldn't verify that. I want to know why they sold their house after like this $5.5 million mansion they sold and were living in a condo. Why hasn't Candace addressed that? Why were they living in a condo? Anyway, to hear people like Tracy, tell me your last name one more time, Martin, dismiss anybody who disagrees or dares question and calls them demonic for doing so. No. And then Victor Marx, people who beat their children in the name of Jesus, who convinced their children that they deserved it. If you watch Bree, his daughter, talk about recanting in her recants, she said she'll say things or write things like it was discipline, not, I deserved it. I was trying to get my dad's attention. This is a thought I had today. I will share with you since you're here, that a narcissistic abuser with a goal will be on best behavior until they have it. That's a man who wants to be governor. He also has a son who wrote a letter saying that his daughter, that his sister deserved financial compensation for methodical abuse she suffered for 17 years. It's on record. His brother said, if you lay a hand on her, we're going to lawyer up. The abuse, like, you can't hide it. You can't hide the fact that he, on his website, listed himself as a pastor. That's not a mistake. That's not a mistake. It implies education and training, and that they don't have. Bree, by the way, on Instagram, said that she would do an interview with me. It seemed that it was conditional on her kind of spiritual advisor being there, who led her in this deliverance prayer, the whole deliverance ministry thing. And the whole deliverance ministry mindset is fascinating because it explains why they just get aggravated when people want to talk about the past. Because, and you see a lot of born again Christians do this as well. Like, 2 Corinthians 5:17, the old is gone, the new has come. So it's gone. We don't need to talk about it. Victor Marx doesn't have problem bringing up everybody else's shit. His sister made accusations against him, and he goes, well, my sister, had a fiance who killed himself. And he does it continuously, and it's just the whole male bravado thing. It's like, okay, if God is for you, who can be against? Well, apparently everybody, because he comes off like he's got to fight the world. So I've reached out to her directly. I'm waiting to hear back, and we'll see. I like her. Brie Marks, her Instagram, she's funny and she's self-effacing. And I like her. I really do. People who have been through hard stuff often develop great sense of humor, but I really like her. That doesn't mean that I think she's in a place of integrity right now. I think she is deep in survivor mode. And my fear for the entire family is that if he gets what he wants, which is to be governor, God help Colorado if that happens, or and the rest of us, but is that he just goes back to whatever. And sometimes people who have been abused are just so tired of conflict in general that like they're just been wound up like so tight that even if it's just for a season. And she did receive money. She lied about that. She did receive money under the guise, she said, of like, she responded to me saying that it was, she joined his campaign. She has no political training, nothing. A consultant who offered professional services, over $15,000. But she said she had not received a penny from her father. Could be wordsmithing, right? But no, that was misleading. A lot of misdirection going on. But yeah, so my concern is on many levels, just as someone who has been through similar issues. And that's what I was starting to say earlier, as somebody who worked with high school kids. The way that she addresses the youth, it's cult-like, what she says. The fact, have you guys seen, look at Project Constitution. They just did an interview about it. It's the F word America tour people who exposed that a significant amount of the Club America chapters aren't real. They're not, they were giving gift cards to kids to basically file paperwork. They don't even have a teacher sign off on it. So there's no accountability. One of the schools was an old decrepit school. It's just smoke and mirrors. I would love to interview Tracy Martin. She is just doing fluffy softball propaganda interviews. Do you know, she said Erica is with her kids every day. Every day. There are 3 or 4 things that are blatant myths, mistruths. I want to say lies, but are wrong. God, there was, can't think of the other. This interview like really has me shook. I'm glad I'm listening to it in stages. As I know, Victor's, I keep turning away. I'm sorry. We had said last time after the last one, in addition to note about lipstick on teeth, that we would like lock my chair so I didn't swivel around so much. So
That's not a thing.
what's not a thing?
Locking the swivel?
We can't lock the swivel on this chair?
That's not a thing.
How can you not lock a swivel on a
Never
chair?
sat in an office chair that you could lock it from going spinning. You can lock it back and forth.
Well, Doug has more experience sitting in office chairs. I don't. I want to Google right now. Is there an office chair that whatever? Okay. So working with high school kids, coming out of the cult thing, the bastardization of the gospel. The guy that was hosting Tracy Martin said, this was revival. You know, this brought me, back into his faith, and it awakened a spiritual aspect of my life as well, but more of like what I don't want. No, that's not. The bastardization of the gospel.
That's a T-shirt.
That's a T-shirt. I had a T-shirt in college that said Jesus is coming and he's really pissed, and I thought that was hysterical. I thought that was hysterical. Jesus is coming and he's really pissed. All right. What you said there was another subject? No? That we mean that's pretty much it. It is either it or it's not it.
There's not been any new topic brought up.
Did somebody mention something? You can tell me. He can't hear me. You can't. Can they hear me if I do this?
Yes.
Okay. There are chairs that have the swivel. I knew it. They're exposing you. They're exposing merch. I couldn't do it. Jesus is coming and he's really pissed T-shirt. As funny as I think it is. What the feckety T-shirts? No, we got to sell what we have. So $28. That's crazy. I can't believe you said $28. And you get a free thing. What? What?
We let people know the website again. For some reason, it's not.
Will I let people know the website? Yeah. Why isn't that on there? You showed me a thing one time where you made it scroll across the bottom.
It's been on there. I put it on.
Oh, look. That's in my handwriting.
They have to type it in.
Why are you yelling at me? Your tone issue was cute when you were in college. Now it's just kind of threatening. No, it's actually not really been a huge issue in recent days. ThinkHappyStuff.com. www.thinkhappystuff.com. I wish I could hear myself. Why can't I hear myself? Because I like it when I articulate and I can. This is the most discombobulated time together. This is like inviting your crazy aunt over and just saying, go. What's on your mind? So I'm going to do a breakdown of that Tracy Martin. Ugh. But it's painful. It's painful.
Are those your paintings behind you?
Yes, these are my paintings. Yeah, I'm an abstract artist. I have paintings all over the world, from Norway to Japan and all over. Hawaii, that's the United States. But yeah, I do. And I do sell them. Probably not this one right behind me. But I'll figure out a way to do that. Somebody in Canada has one of the paintings that I used to have behind me. And she was like, that would match my den. So anyway, it is now in somebody's den in Canada. A woman named Virginia in Canada. Okay, last looks, as we say on set, last looks. Oh, this is wild. The Michael Jackson movie. What'd you say about China? They're going to show it in China? They're going to show the Michael Jackson movie in China, which I won't get residuals for if it's only in the big screen. Did you ever look up if it's only going to be in movie theaters?
No.
And what was the other? There were two movies they were going to let be shown. Michael Jackson one and the other. So it's so wild. I think I told you that, we went to the movie. I wanted to see it on the big screen. I wanted to see myself on the big screen, and I turned away. That's how it's like that quick. But it's quick enough for some of you who, well, I don't know. I guess if you, especially on Instagram, if you see me every single day, then you would recognize me. Like, there's that face up there. But People were messaging, like, was that you in there? Was that you? Yeah. I had a line, but they ended up playing music over it. Can't complain. It was a Michael Jackson song, but I didn't think I was going to get residuals because of that. And turns out it's wrong. I'll get residuals, and I'm not even sure what that means because that's never happened before, other than for the rest of my life, I will get something financially back. Now, it could be a penny, and there are stories of that happening. So if they stream it on home streaming services in China, then we are golden. But do they even have that in China?
What?
What do you mean, what? There's not like Apple TV and stuff in China. Is there? Like
I
what?
think they have streaming services because they produce their own movies.
Will you please look up if they'll be streaming? If they are streaming, if they stream Michael Jackson in China, we might be able to get an apartment with another room in it, so I don't have to be mushed into a corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. That's obvious. You know that one. Nobody puts baby in the corner. I don't know how Patrick Swayze talks. My son the other night, Michael, was sitting on the couch, Doug, and he looked like Matt Dillon. Of course, he didn't know who that was, but Matt Dillon. I worked with Rob Lowe on... He was a doctor. I don't think it was Lone Star, but I've seen St. Elmo's Fire. St. Elmo's Fire. I graduated high school in 1986. I watched St. Elmo's Fire like a dozen times, at least a dozen times. And so I'm in this scene. I'm just like a nurse or nothing featured. But it's just me and Rob Lowe. He didn't like say hi or anything. He didn't say hi or anything. But Jane Fonda and I talked about my father's death because he had just died a couple weeks before. And I had Frank and Gracie just on play, just going nonstop through all the seasons because I liked the energy it brought into my home at the time. And so it was just she and I next to each other, and we hadn't really engaged. And I just leaned over. I was like, Miss Fonda, my dad died a couple weeks ago, and I don't even know if I made eye contact initially, but my dad died a couple weeks ago, and I have your show on repeat, and it's been really helpful. And she went, oh, like looked right at me. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's so hard. It's so challenging when we lose our fathers. But you'll see him again. You'll see him again. It was amazing. And then on the drive home, I'm like, holy hell, she was talking about Henry Fonda, her father, who apparently was a bit of an arsehole. You know who else was? Bill, I'll just go down. We'll end on this story, okay? I worked with Bill Paxton on, what was it? The remake of that. It was a series, Training Day. And Bill Paxton was the nicest, warmest. He knew the names, like this one guy in particular, because they were from the same state or maybe even the same town. And they had talked several months, if not a year or two previously on set of some other show. He remembered that guy's name. Yeah. So I was working Training Day. Forgive me if I've told this story before, but I was working Training Day and this was right when the audio from Trump on the bus, the Hollywood Access, when he was caught on the hot mic with Billy Bush saying, I can grab him by the, you can do whatever you want if you're a star, right? So, but you don't talk politics on set. you do not do that. But we were kind of in this somewhat crowded area, and Bill needed to change his shoes or something. And I was sitting on a bench with somebody to my left, and maybe, I don't remember. It's all a blur, but there was just like a little space, not full amount space, but he came over and he kind of smiled and he plopped down, but kind of on my lap, but not really. And then he was like, "Oh, I should have asked for consent," but not in a creepy way. It was funny. Lots of people around. It was funny. He was just addressing the elephant in the room because that had just whatever. So he sat down and we started talking, and he brought up the Face in the Crowd movie. Make note of this movie, Andy Griffith, A Face in the Crowd, black and white movie, dramatic role. Andy Griffith was phenomenal. This is before the Andy Griffith Show, which he actually took as a direct result of playing this role, because it's very dark. It's about like this hillbilly singer who somebody discovers that is very persuasive. And so they direct him into politics. And he becomes a Trumpian figure, that he can do anything, he can get away with everything. And then I'll just say he doesn't, which is exactly what would have happened, should have happened with that audio being leaked from that bus. But he played up the redemption card, right? Almost like the deliverance thing that Victor Marx plays. And evangelicals love a good redemption story. But as a result, it makes them very pliable, the way that things can be presented and manipulated. I don't mean everybody. I'm talking the evangelical church, generally speaking. When you see things in black and white like that and it's being played up to, it's much easier to manipulate than somebody who's like, well, there's a lot of gray in life. What politicians don't know what to do with gray. That's why there's an aisle. It's either black or white. And it's how we've been played, and it's how faith has been manipulated on a very broad scale. Back to Bill Paxton and That Beautiful Soul of a Man. I'm always, see if I can get through this without crying. It's really hard for me not to, because he died shortly thereafter. So he's like, you got to check out this movie called A Face in the Crowd, because he basically did what Trump did and like didn't get away with it. And he goes, Andy Griffith, like, he was a bit of an asshole. And I was like, what? Andy Griffith? And he goes, yeah, he actually promised his wife that he would not do his wife who he cheated on indefinitely, that he would not do dramatic acting anymore in the intense. I mean, this was like Oscar winning performance. It was brilliant. It shows his range. It was brilliant. A Face in the Crowd is what it's called. And there was a lot of drinking involved, and he admitted to drinking, like that drinking was an issue. And I think in the last couple of years of his life, he stopped drinking. But it was a battle. It was an ongoing battle. And so this film just brought out the worst in him. Sharon Stone shares a story about working the movie Casino and what that put her through emotionally and addiction and stuff. So Bill Paxton recommends this movie, and we just talk about miscellaneous political stuff you're not supposed to talk about. And we go back to filming, and I'm a detective on that series a few times. And so I go back in the next day, and at lunch, we're kind of passing in the hallway. I'll never forget this. It's burned in my brain. We're passing in the hallway, and I said, "Hey, like that movie, like that was incredible." He goes, "Yeah, like it really is, isn't it?" And he had to get to where he was going. So so Bill Paxton is walking down this hallway away from me, and he turns over his left shoulder. He goes, and that smile of his, "Can't believe you watched that movie. That's like really cool. You watched that movie." And in my mind, and I'm gonna cuss, so heads up. I thought, "You're Bill fucking Paxton. Of course I'm gonna watch a movie you recommend." So anyway, I love the industry. I know there's darker stuff that goes on deeper behind the scenes, but I've been here since 2016. It's not been my experience. I've never let my age define me. I haven't used ageism as an excuse when it's come to performing, whether comedy or acting. In comedy, I tell my story. It's just me, and nobody else has that story, or would they want it necessarily. And in acting, you're either right for the role or not. You don't know what they want or what they don't. And I don't pursue either of those things right now, because I enjoy my time with you guys. So when I film on this show, sorry, I was looking to see if they gave me any details. Like it'll put me off grid for a day or two, and I'll miss you guys. I will. I very much appreciate this time with you. Are we thinking happy stuff yet? Are we good? Good distraction from the world. And that's what I loved about the industry. I used to struggle with deep, dark depression. And if you've heard any of my story, antidepressants didn't help, because when I was 50, an older and wiser doctor diagnosed me as bipolar 2, and the right medication saved my life. But I was 50. And antidepressants do not help bipolarism. As a matter of fact, they make it worse. Triggered anger issues. It was just and in that time I was using alcohol as an escape as well. So not great for many involved in my life. Self-medicating and escapism. But when I was properly diagnosed and got on the right medication, I was able to see, the drinking doesn't serve me well. Like it doesn't serve anybody in my life well. Didn't make me happier. Didn't make me sexier. Didn't make me funnier. Didn't make me anything. It didn't make celebrations better for me. It didn't. And I told somebody, we were speaking backstage at a comedy club, and in my comedy I mentioned sobriety, and I don't know what he said, but I guess he had been contemplating the idea. And I said, "Yeah, I'm sober." I said, "But I'm still fun at parties." And for some reason that impacted him, like that one line. And he's been sober like 3.5 years now. So, but if people decide to drink or not, by my story or not, great, good for them. And it's the same with my faith. And I wish more Christians approached their faith this way, that they will be light. They'll be they'll be love and light. They'll be the aroma of Christ, salt and light. but just not demand or dictate or dominate or condemn. Just be somebody where people look at that and go, oh, what? I want that. What do you got going on there? I want some of that. Like, what is that? And then you tell your story without like condemning of them in the process. That's all I got. Anything you want to add? Are you playing your game? Oh, comments. Guys, it's a little challenging for me with needing glasses and your medical card. Yeah. California, there's a thing called California Sober where you no longer drink, but you smoke weed. I have no issue with the natural alternatives. I'm so thankful that Trump fast-tracked the whole use of microdosing, especially for veterans and PTSD. That is huge. That is huge. Wow, Ash. Ash, I tell you what, there are meetings in your area for like-minded people who are just interested in stopping. There are meetings that I'm talking about AA meetings where you don't have to like be sober. I mean, it's best you don't show up drunk, but they're not going to kick you out. If you're they're called open meetings. So if you're interested, you look, there's a website, it tells you all the meetings, all the times. They're 24/7. And now since COVID, Zoom meetings. I decided to quit drinking, as did Doug, in the middle of COVID, April 25th, 2020. So it was all over COVID. There were a lot of people who had gone to meetings and they develop a community. That's some real church right there. And not being able to do those in face meetings, a lot of people went off the wagon, so to speak, during COVID. So yeah, during a time when in the global pandemic, when for the first time in our nation's history, our government deemed liquor stores to be essential businesses, Chris and Doug decided to quit drinking because even my healthy decisions have self-sabotage written all over them. That's actually, those last two bits that's an example of my comedy. So, all right, kiddos. You're awesome. Whatever your challenge is, there are like-minded people. It's never just you. When you share your stuff, it'll resonate. People will speak out. All right. ThinkHappyStuff.com. I never finished this thought, but I get, let's say, a dozen businesses that'll reach out and say, your numbers are amazing. We would like to partner with you. And I'm like, have you seen my content? Because people don't want to support, necessarily advertise in political circles as much as like, here's how you make sourdough bread, right? So your support through thinkhappystuff.com is very much appreciated. Okay, guys, are there any last minute comments that I need to look at? Doug's like, no, I really didn't think we'd be on here this long. I'm looking for a clock where I know in my head there isn't one. Wow, it's late. You got a shirt. Thank you.
People are just saying good night and they love you.
Good night. You guys, I have such a genuine love and appreciation for you. I really do. I really do. How about you, honey? Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, they're all right.
I knew he was going to say something like that. Okay. Glad you're here. Try to find the happy. Try to find the happy. There's always happy to be found. There's always funny to be found. Hopefully, sometimes I can help you find it. Love you guys. How do I hit stream? End stream. Bye. Bye.